We are now live.
We are again live via Facebook, by YouTube. We are live via YouTube in compliance with Department Order number 6, series of 2024 for transparency of procurement processes. So we are here for a pre-bid conference for goods and services under invitation to bid number 2024-004 for goods and services. So before we proceed, may I ask the Secretariat to call the roll?
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to everyone who's present here and to our online viewers. Special mention to our four representatives who will be watching the live stream. Now, I will be going to relay the names of those who are present for this morning's activity, which is the pre-bidding for goods and services pre-bid conference conducted on October 24, 2024. Presiding today are BAC Chairperson, Ma'am Catherine M. Sangria, along with the BAC members, Provisional Member Sir Engineer John Jeffrey D. Marcos, Provisional Member via Zoom teleconference, Ma'am Esther Olorejo,
Present.
from the BAC Secretariat, headed by Ma'am Engineer Maria Shelby S. Sotia. Present. Together with Ma'am Berlin L. Melendez. From the DWG, represented by Ma'am Josie V. Arellano, Sir Engineer Archulito Sirpos Jr., and Sir Engineer Patrick Galazo. To everyone who is in here today, your presence and cooperation are appreciated and will be welcomed.
Since the majority
So this is the Jonathan's card.
are present, I hereby declare a quorum and all these meeting in order. So we have here present of agenda for pre-bid conference. I read the agenda, the brief presentation and explanation of the back of the following: letter A, the basic contract data; B, the requirements of the bidding documents; C, the documents to be submitted by the bidders. Under this, we have 1 and 2, the technical component of the bid and the financial component of the bid. Thirdly, the criteria and procedure for eligibility check. Then letter E is the 3-strike policy against violation of section 69-1-I of the IRR of RA 9184. Then the number 2 agenda, which is the question and comments from the bidders. The third agenda is the summary of proceedings. So first, we will tackle the brief presentation of the materials or supplies to be procured, to be explained and by our procurement head.
Good morning, Madam Chair. For the first project with contract ID 24 GLA 005 with PR number with PR number 2024-10-106 dated October 8, 2024. Contract name, supply and delivery of consolidated inventory, common office supplies for use in the DPWH Davao de Oro 1st District Engineering Office, Nabunturan, Davao de Oro, CY 2024, 4th quarter. Contract location, 1st DEO Davao de Oro. Brief description of goods to be procured. Battery AA for E91BP for black battery AAA, for E92BP for black binder folder and other items. Approved budget for the contract ABC 1,999,788.29. Source of fund EO FY 2024. Delivery date of goods is 20 calendar days. Cost of bid documents is 5,000 pesos. For the second contract with contract ID 24GLA rather 0006 with PR number 2024-10-107 dated October 8, 2024, supply and delivery of consolidated printer consumables for use in the DPWH Davao de Oro First District Engineering Office, Nabunturan, Davao de Oro, FY 2024 fourth quarter. Contract location is First DEO Davao de Oro. Brief description of goods to be procured: Epson T664 Black, Epson T664 Cyan, Epson T664 Magenta, Epson T664 Yellow, Epson 003 Black, and 53 other items. Approved budget for the contract ABC 2,349,876 pesos only. Source of fund EO FY 2024. Delivery date of goods is 20 calendar days. Cost of bid documents is 5,000 pesos only. That's all, Madam Chair.
That's the supplies to be procured by this agency. So we will go to the tabs for the requirements of bidding documents until the ECDE, which will be viewed through proceed. Sorry, this one is not prepared, so we will have our annual discussion on the requirements of biddings to be procured. To be discussed to us by Chairman Head.
Good morning again, Madam Chair. To participate and qualify in our procurement activities, interested bidders are encouraged to read the following documents. First is the instruction to bidders. Second is the bid data sheet. Third is the general conditions of the contract. Fourth is the special conditions of the contract. 5 is the bill of quantities. 6 is the specifications. 7 is the securities and other forms as may be required for the contract. Bidders are strongly advised to read each provision, especially the instruction to bidders and general conditions of the contract, whose special instructions are clearly spelled out in the bid data sheet and the special conditions of the contract respectively. Bidders are also encouraged to check the bill of quantities so that your bid will be responsive to the requirements set forth in the bidding documents. These documents can be downloaded free of charge from FieldJobs and DPWH websites. Interested bidders shall pay the applicable amount from the bidding documents not later than the submission of bids. That's all, Madam Chair.
And next to the order is the documents to be submitted by the bidder, presented by Ms. Melendez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A pleasant good morning, everyone, and the viewers, if there's any. For the eligibility and technical envelope, the following documents that are required. For number 1, technical component of the bid.
DTI or SEC registration, mayor's permit, statement of ongoing and similar completed government and private contract, audited financial statement, stamp received by the BIR, income tax return of the preceding year filed and paid through the BIR electronic filing and payment system, computation of NFCC, tax clearance, spell checks under platinum membership, bid security in the prescribed form, technical specification, delivery scheduled or production, warranty certificate if applicable, brochures of the offered equipment if applicable, omnibus warrant statement, which is 10 items in accordance with the GPBB resolutions, secretary's certificate and board resolutions if applicable. For number two, for the financial component of the bid, the following documents that are required: bid form, duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities or BOQ, and detailed estimate, including summary sheets. Any missing documents in the above checklist is ground for outright rejection of the bid. That's all, Madam Chair, for the documents to be submitted by the interested bidders.
Next is the criteria and procedure for eligibility check.
The bank will always follow the criteria and procedure of eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, status of ongoing projects, and award. All documents that are mentioned shall be submitted sealed and markings of 2 envelope system, for 1 envelope containing 3 envelopes. First envelope, original, technical, and financial component of the bid. Second envelope contains 1 copy of technical and financial component of the bid. Third envelope contains copy 2 of technical and financial component of the bid. Copy 1 and copy 2 must be duly certified true copy. The entries of the original copy of the bill of quantities or BOQ shall be handwritten and be limited to 2 decimal places only. Shall be signed by the duly authorized representative, and please take note that since this is under goods and services, the submission of bid shall be done on manual submission, and there is no electronic submission. The deadline of submission of bids will be on or before November 5, 2024 until 10 a.m. The place of opening of bids will be at DPWH Conference Room, 2nd floor of DPWH Davao de Oro, First Engineering Office, Nabunturan, Davao de Oro. That's all, Madam Chair.
Next is the order of the agenda. Question, comments? There is none. So we will proceed to the last agenda, which is the summary of proceedings, including supplemental fiscal issue. Presented to us by Engineer Tutia.
All the needed information were discussed and explained by these resource persons. I would like to remind the prospective bidders to visit from time to time the DPWH and PhilJobs website, especially within 7 calendar days prior to the deadline of the submissions of bids for the supplemental or bids bulletins to be issued thereat. That's all, Madam Chair.
So the agenda is pre-bid conference. Well explained. So I know against violation. That's three strike policy against violation of section 69-1-I of the RRR of RA 91/84 to be viewed through audio visual presentation.
In order to establish a fair and transparent system for managing offenses committed by bidders in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services projects through public bidding, the Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, hereby introduces an updated three-strike policy. This policy is aimed at enforcing adherence to the procurement guidelines stipulated under Section 69.1.I of the 2016 revised implementing rules and regulations, IR of Republic Act, RAE 9184. Under this policy, if a bidder commits three offenses or acts described as all other acts that tend to defeat the purpose of competitive bidding, they shall be subjected to an administrative penalty. These offenses, acts are further classified into three major categories, as enumerated below.
Classification of offenses that triggers the three-strike policy and exceptions. 1. Withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of a non-participation letter, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. However, the Bids and Awards Committee, BAC, recognizes certain valid reasons for these actions. A. If upon computation prior to bid submission, the bidder determines that their proposed bid price will exceed the approved budget for the contract, ABC. To substantiate this, the bidder must provide evidence. Acceptable proof includes, but is not limited to, a detailed budget estimation or a market price report. B, if the bidder, after reviewing the bidding documents and evaluating the available market options, determines that the required goods or supplies either are not available, or that the available alternatives do not meet the specified technical specifications. Additionally, if providing the specified goods or supplies would require the bidder to incur costs exceeding the competitive and financially viable range, or if adherence to the specifications would lead to a bid price that is not economically favorable, the bidder may withdraw. To validate this reason, the bidder should present an affidavit demonstrating that participating in the bid under these conditions would be financially unsustainable. 2. Submission of late bids without valid reasons as determined by the BAC. Exceptions will be considered under extraordinary circumstances such as force majeure. This refers to unexpected and unavoidable external events that impede or prevent a bidder from timely bid submission, as defined in Article 1174 of the Philippine Civil Code. 3. Submission of patently insufficient bid. A patently insufficient bid here refers to a bid that fails to include or comply with certain mandatory requirements. The determination of whether a bidder committed such an offense may occur as outlined below. A. During eligibility screening and/or shortlisting. I. Submission of an expired certificate of Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, PhilGPS, registration, Platinum membership, or a certificate of PhilGPS certification containing expired Class A legal and financial documents as determined during the eligibility screening. Failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae in the application for eligibility and shortlisting, AES, which are evaluated during the shortlisting for consulting services projects. B. During bid evaluation, failure to submit required bid forms, as outlined in Annex C detailing the complete list of required bid forms. 2. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion and/or omission of mandatory provisions and statements for the required bid forms, as per Annex C outlining the mandatory provisions of required forms. 3. Submission of an unnotarized bid securing declaration, an omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement or statements from all the potential joint venture partners, with the exception during the declaration of state of calamity, or implementation of community quarantine or similar restrictions declared or being implemented either in the locality of the procuring entity, PE, or of the bidder. For submission of the bid form, price schedules, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement, JVA, without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. 5, nomination of key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents, or, in the case of consulting services, proposing a key personnel whose educational background is different from that required by the TOR. 6, failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of pledged equipment. 7, failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012, or, in the case of consulting services projects, failure to submit certifications as required by the terms of reference, TOR. 8, failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment as stated in the bidding documents.
C, during post-qualification, 1, participation in bidding for consulting services or good and services contracts by a bidder whose business type category, as indicated on the mayor's permit, does not match or are unrelated to the contract being bid for, as determined during the post-qualification process. 2, participation for infrastructure projects by a bidder whose allowable range of contract costs, RCC, as indicated on the CAB license, does not match with the specific requirements of the infrastructure project being bid for in terms of category, classifications, and size range. Enforcement and penalties. If a bidder commits any of the 3 major offenses or acts listed above 3 times within a year starting from the approval date of the resolution recommending the imposition of strike 1, first warning, which is counted as day 1 through day 365, and if these 3 offenses are similar or identical nature, it will trigger the enforcement of the stipulated administrative penalty, suspension from participating in all DPWH procurement activities, and entering into contract with any DPWH procuring entity. Subsequently, as per the procedure outlined in Annex of, this may result in the blacklisting of the suspended bidder, thereby disqualifying the bidder from participating in any government procurement activities for a period of 1 year. In conjunction with blacklisting, the bidder will also face bid security forfeiture and must comply with the enforcement of the bid securing declarations condition. In more severe instances, when the bidder commits another set of 3 similar offenses, or more than 2 sets of 3 similar offenses instances, where more than 6 similar offenses occur within the said 1 year time frame, the bidder may be subjected to an increased penalty, resulting in blacklisting for a period of 2 years. The effectuation for the penalty of either 1 or 2 years, as applicable, will be clearly stipulated in the blacklisting order, with the provision that the duration of blacklisting shall not exceed a maximum period of 2 years, commencing on the date the blacklisting order is approved and issued by the Secretary. In enforcing these penalties, the DPWH emphasizes the need for a clear and fair procedure. When an offense leading to a strike is identified, the erring bidder will be promptly notified by the Bids and Awards Committee, back, and given a chance to explain their actions before any final decision is made. This procedure helps ensure a well-informed and fair judgment. Furthermore, if it is suspended due to 3 strikes, they have the right to file a request for reconsideration as per the procedure in Annex of. This gives the suspended bidder a formal way to challenge the suspension, showcasing the department's commitment to due process in enforcing the 3 strike policy. 4, due process and implementation. To ensure that due process is upheld across all stages of procurement, from eligibility screening and shortlisting to bid evaluation and post-qualification, it is essential for the BAC and its technical working group, TWG, to meticulously verify the monthly consolidated strike reports updated version at each stage of the procurement process. All BACs are tasked with actively monitoring these updates to accurately track the infractions committed by bidders. Notably, even if a bidder has accumulated 3 strikes, this alone shall not be grounds for ineligibility, disqualification, or post-qualification until the suspension order is approved by the Secretary. and officially posted on DPWH website. Moreover, if a suspended bidder has filed a request for reconsideration, the awarding of the contract may be deferred until such request is resolved. This approach ensures the integrity and coherence of our procurement system, reflecting our dedication to a transparent and fair process for all participants. Failure of the concerned DPWH personnel to implement the provisions of this order shall, after due process, make them liable to the penalties prescribed for violation of reasonable office rules and regulation in Rule 10, Administrative Offenses and Penalties of the 2017 Rules on Administrative in the Civil Service dated the 3rd of July 2017. This order shall take effect immediately and shall supersede Department Order Number 17, Series of 2015, Department Order Number 35, Series of 2008, and all other issuances that are inconsistent with this order.
Additional information. Only accredited contractors and consultants project
Summary of proceedings, including supplemental. Commander. So. Okay, so we have the final information has been discussed and explained. So may I know the pleasure of everybody?
I move to adjourn the private conference.
Has been moved by Mr. Marcos and seconded by
Second motion.
hereby approved. And conference is now. We will proceed to the next activity, which is the opening of bids for the goods and services. Still.